finally starting to warm up here. The snow is mostly melted. As far as my yard is concerned, it's all melted. We got a little bit in the north-facing slopes here to my south in the area. But you know, as it's warming up, I'm really starting to get eager to get back in the garden. And I shared with you guys, I believe one of the last videos I shared with you was my garden plans for this year. So we've talked about that. But today I want to share with you the 3 crops that for myself are a sure bet, even in the coldest winters, that you can set in the fall and you'll have something fresh to eat as early as now. As I record this video today, it's March 4th and we're just above freezing. I think we're about 5 degrees Celsius right now out here. And I want to talk about 3 absolute winners that even on my farm worked very well for overwintering crops. So I'm talking about spinach, red Russian kale, and arugula. Now let's start with the number 1, spinach. This is definitely the number 1. So there's my spinach. This variety is Space. It's called Space. It's an F1, so it's a hybrid, but really nice and thick stand here. I've made many videos on spinach, but I wanted to kind of focus today's video on more of a homestead context for all 3 of these crops. So spinach is definitely the number 1 as far as how it germinates in cold weather and the overall yield that you get, and just the consistency and the dependency. You know, we got down to minus 20 Celsius this winter, and just with this little tiny polytunnel, and there are even times that the snow sagged in here, which sometimes can affect your crop because it can kind of smother it out. But this is just such a winner. All of these were seeded in the first week of October, and I'll kind of go through each one and talk about the details. So for spinach, I seeded with the, actually I think I seeded this, yeah, I would have used the Jang seeder, and I used my G12 roller here. But if you don't have a Jang seeder, you can seed it by hand just as easily. I do 5 rows, so we got a 30-inch bed on the inside of this raised garden bed frame, and you could easily seed this by hand. Drop, you know, 1 seed every 1/4 inch, so you get a nice thick stand, and that also makes up for when part of them don't germinate, and sometimes that happens. You know, you can see a little bit of empty area, but mostly on where the edge of the tunnel was, which is kind of typical. And you could also use an earthway seeder using the charred plate. That's in fact what I used on my farm for many years before I got into using the Jang. So spinach is pretty much a guarantee. So seeding, I'm in a zone, a 6B, and this was seeded on the first week of October. Wouldn't have been covered in a tunnel at that point, just would have let the rain and the natural elements help it germinate. They like a bit of cooler weather to germinate, so that's great. And then I would have covered all of these up probably by mid to late October. But spinach is just amazing that at this time of year, and I've already started to harvest this. You can see I was coming in here in mid-February and harvesting some of it. But I find with the spinach, if you harvest it too early, let's say you want to get in and you're really eager, and it was a cold winter this winter, so if I would have come in and tried to crop this out, and this would work for farming too, if I would have tried to come in and crop this out, I would have got a really low yield. You wait another 2 weeks until a time like now, and we're early March, it just gets nice and thick. You can see in, you know, zones like this. When I was doing this on the farm, I would be harvesting hundreds of pounds of spinach, because what I always did was planted multiple beds of spinach in October so that I have a really strong production coming into the early spring. And there's no other field crops really at this point. So I'm going to just skip ahead to my number 2, which is arugula. It does a little bit better than the red Russian, but arugula, there's kind of 2 ways you can do it going into the fall. My favorite way to do it was to take my late summer planting that sometimes would have been seeded as as early in the fall as late August, and basically just leave them running. That was my best way, because those crops would have already had a couple cuts, and then the stand on the crop itself the core gets really thick, and I find if you have a nice thick core, it's far better suited to survive a harsh winter like we had this winter, harsh for this climate at least. But in this case here, this was seeded around the same time as both these crops. Would have been the first. It was actually, they were all seeded at the same time. I did them on the same day. So first week of October, germinated and grew enough of a stand to sustain the winter. And right now I can come in here and get a lovely crop of arugula. You know, arugula that looks like this, it's going to be really pungent. It's a slightly different crop than a baby arugula that you would get on a first cut in the spring, so it's a little bit different, but it's still great for salads, and it's just exciting to get some fresh greens like this time of year. You know, we've been growing microgreens all winter time. Oh, Violet, don't get your feet wet there, sweetie. Now your feet are soaked. Sorry, my daughter coming in and stepping in some water. Yeah, arugula is an easy one, beautiful crop. All these were seeded with the Jang, and I hope I'm correct, but I believe it was the X24 on the Jang rollers. This one I would have done, it looks like 9 rows in here, and my sprockets on the Jang were always 14 on the front and 9 on the back. Again, just like the spinach, if in a homestead context, easily you can hand seed this. And basically, you're just peppering as much as you can into the rows. Make the rows with your hands and just sprinkle the seed in there. You know, the seed's so small that counting seed's kind of pointless, but you're basically just getting a nice, thick, consistent row in there, and you're good to go. Now, Red Russian is a little bit more shoddy. Again, seeded all the same time here. I would have used the F24 roller on the Jang, same sprocket configurations. I believe when I did the Earthway, I was using the radish or lettuce plate, the radish plate, sorry, to seed this, and you know, going heavy. But you can see it didn't do as well. You know, actually had something come in and screw up. I think that might have been leaking irrigation line there with that mended drip line there. But I also found this on the farm a little bit less consistent as far as getting a strong stand, and but works great nonetheless. And yeah, that's Red Russian. So I mean, right with all this, I've got we're gonna have some beautiful salads in the next few weeks. So excited about that. So there you have it, 3 crops you can do that will survive most winters. I mean, if you're getting below -20, I haven't seen that here in the Okanagan Valley, but I know for a lot of people in Canada, and I would say probably most people in the United States, -20 Celsius is the coldest you're gonna see. Maybe in more of the northern or high elevation places you might see colder, but we're a zone 6B here, and we did have an abnormally cold winter, and these worked just fine. So I'm telling you, from 10 years of farming, I've done the same with these crops, and now trying it in a slightly different context in the homestead. You know, less infrastructure on the tunnels for sure. They're way more basic. We'd been doing these in caterpillar tunnels for a number of years and having better results. But spinach is definitely your #1 sure bet, and I know that will sustain even colder temperatures than what I've got here, because I've got friends all over the world that have done it in colder contexts. And the other 2, maybe you can't push it as much, but I can tell you with the arugula, you can push it, especially with your late summer planting. If you've got a nice stand and a core established on that crop, it's going to withstand a harsh winter as long as it's covered and dry, better than if you seed it in the fall itself. And the Red Russian, kind of the same thing, but I've always found that the Red Russian is kind of spotty to come back in the late winter and early spring. But needless to say, these are all winners and a great way to get some really nutrient-dense greens early in the spring. So hope you guys found that helpful. If you did, hit the subscribe button, like, and share the videos with your friends, and I'll see you in the next one.